So this is at Columbia. So the story is that Tai went into the Butler Library at Columbia, and he was researching a book, and the library was about to close. I saw a book that concerned the area of my research. I slid it off the shelf and held it in my two hands. It was large and heavy. I read that it had been published in 1892, and it was donated to the Columbia Library the same year. On the back cover was a slip of paper that recorded the names of borrowers and the dates they took it out of the library. The first time it had been borrowed was in 1915. The second time was in 1932. I would be the third. Can you imagine? I was only the third borrower on October 1st, 1962. For 70 years, only two other people had stood in the same spot I now stood, pulled the book from the shelf, and decided to check it out. I was overcome with the wish to meet these two people. I don't know why, but I wanted to hug them. 2 points on the same straight line will never meet. I was able to encounter two people in space, but not in time. I stood quietly for a few minutes, holding the book in my hands. Then I remembered what Anton Serbu was Thai's mentor at Columbia University, and Thai discussed with him the possibility of starting a department of Vietnamese studies at Columbia University, but unfortunately he passed away very soon afterwards, and it didn't happen. Then I remember what Anton Serbu had said the day before when we were discussing how to research Vietnamese Buddhism. He told me that I was still young. I didn't believe him. I feel as though I've lived a long time and have seen so much of life. I'm almost 36, which is not young. But that night, while standing amidst the stacks at Butler Library, I saw that I am neither young nor old, existent nor non-existent. My friends know I can be as playful and mischievous as a child. I love to kid around and enter fully into the game of life. I also know what it is to get angry. And I know the pleasure of being praised. I am often on the verge of tears or laughter. But beneath all of these emotions, what else is there? How can I touch it? If there isn't anything, why would I be so certain that there is? Still holding the book, I felt a glimmer of insight. I understood that I am empty of ideals, hopes, viewpoints, or allegiances. I have no promises to keep with others. In that moment, the sense of myself as an entity among other entities disappeared. I knew that this insight did not arise from disappointment, despair, fear, desire, or ignorance. A veil silently lifted, effortlessly. That is all. If you beat me, stone me, or even shoot me, everything that is considered to be me will disintegrate. Then, what is actually there will reveal itself, faint as smoke, elusive as emptiness, and yet neither smoke nor emptiness, ugly nor not ugly, beautiful yet not beautiful. It is like a shadow on a screen. At that moment, I had the deep feeling that I had returned. My clothes, my shoes, even the essence of my being had vanished, and I was carefree as a grasshopper pausing on a blade of grass. Like the grasshopper, I had no thoughts of the divine. The grasshopper's gods perceive form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and objects of mind. They know increasing and decreasing, defiled and immaculate, production and destruction. When a grasshopper sits on a blade of grass, he has no thought of separation, resistance, or blame. Human children prefer dragonflies whose wings and bellies are as red as chili peppers. But the green grasshopper blends completely with the green grass, and children rarely notice it. It neither retreats nor beckons. It knows nothing of philosophy or ideals. It is simply grateful for its ordinary life. Dash across the meadow, my dear friend, and greet yesterday's child. When you can't see me, you yourself will return. Even when your heart is filled with despair, you will find the same grasshopper on the same blade of grass. Okay, it's a little bit late. There's so much more I want to go through in this book, and I hope you have a chance to touch it and read it yourself. Thank you for coming, and we'll continue next Wednesday.